How is it going, Bears fans? Welcome back to another episode of Beared Down Uncut, the show where we talk everything Bears every day of the week. Today, in episode 140 of Uncut, we're going to be discussing Justin Fields' rookie season. It's inevitable that he is probably going to play at some point in 2021, but when will that time come? And when it comes, can he play well enough and long enough to be considered for the Rookie of the Year award? Let's jump right into it before I introduce myself and my co-hosts. I would like to say we're posting Bears content every day of the week. You guys have been crushing it on the support recently. We've got about 14,000 views on a couple of different videos in the last 2 days. So if you want Bears content every day of the week, we're going to keep coming back each and every day with the best and most comprehensive Bears coverage on the web. So whether you are listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or on YouTube, do us a favor, drop a like, subscribe, follow, and we will be bringing you guys content each and every day. Welcome back to the show, though, guys. I am your host, Chris Maltby, today to talk a little bit more about Justin Fields, who has been a hot topic on this show that you guys have loved the content we've made about recently. I am joined with my co-host, Parth Shaw. Parth, what's going on? How's your weekend been?
Been pretty good. Just relaxed this weekend. Another summer weekend going away. Summer's been flying, but the weather's been getting super nice out. I think it's hitting 90s consistently here in Chicago. So the beach weather starting to kick off here. So
yeah, I've been playing a lot of tennis. I've been golfing a ton.
Mm-hmm.
You hit it on the head.
Exactly.
It's even hotter when you go to the city too. I'm sure we'll be down there eventually for some beach days or some Sox games or Cubs games, but 85s, 90s each and every day. I don't think any of us can complain about that.
Exactly.
And I don't think the Bears players can complain either, because in about 3-4 months here, it's going to be tipping down and getting cold. We know how Chicago weather works, especially with that lakeshore effect over on Soldier Field. So let's hop right into this. Justin Fields, once again, we're back talking a little bit about the Rookie of the Year award and whether or not we can see him winning it. But let's start with something a little bit more simple, Parth. Obviously, Justin Fields was the fourth quarterback taken in the 2021 NFL draft behind Trey Lance, Zach Wilson, as well as Trevor Lawrence with those first 3 picks. A lot of teams had him ranked as their quarterback 2. At least a quarter of the league had him ranked as quarterback 2. And obviously, Mac Jones was taken just 4 picks after at 15 as well. So I want to ask you, probably should have discussed this earlier, but in terms of the rookie quarterbacks, how do you see Fields stacking up in comparison to the others that were just taken?
I have him at number 2. I always have. I thought it always was Lawrence and Fields. Those guys always went hand in hand in almost everything. And then Trey Lance came out of nowhere. Same with Zach Wilson. But I do have Fields at number 2. I think he is more polished than Lance and Wilson are. Fields face tougher competition in the Big Ten compared to North Dakota State or Trey Lance. I compared the same guys.
Yeah.
Where I was going with BYU and North Dakota State. I think Ohio State faces tougher competition. So I think Fields definitely is better than those 2 guys. And then Trevor Lawrence has always been QB1 for me and almost everyone that watches college football. He was a stud out at Clemson, so you can't do anything about that. But, Justin Fields did beat him this season. So I thought the competition he played, the way he played, he's definitely better than the other 3 guys.
Yeah, and you probably have seen 4 quarterbacks in this year's draft play top-tier competition. Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, Mac Jones, and that's going to be really interesting because was he carried by his teammates, guys like Jaylen Waddle and Devontae Smith, or can he do it on his own? So we'll see what the Patriots can get out of him. But knowing how Bill Belichick has developed some quarterbacks in the past, I'm pretty sure they'll have just a fine time with him. And then the only other quarterback or quarterbacks, I guess some of the second-round guys, I was going to say Kyle Trask has played some pretty good competition down at Florida. And also, I guess, David Mills a little bit, as well as Kellen Mond at Texas A&M. But you know what? I got to agree with you on the pin. I think Justin Fields is going to be the second-best quarterback from this draft class. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence is a generational talent. Joe Burrow was a generational talent. Andrew Luck, in some aspect, was a generational talent. I think you don't come by a lot of these guys every once in a while. It takes years and years and years. And Burrow and Lawrence going in back-to-back drafts is pretty surprising because I think Burrow is a baller before he got hurt last year. And I also think that Trevor Lawrence is going to be great in this league. But I would put Justin Fields right behind him at quarterback too. I've said it a couple days ago. He started 35 games in college at Ohio State, a top-tier school that was in the college football playoffs. and has been the last couple of years ever since it resurfaced, playing against top-tier competition on the biggest stage. So I think I'm going to put Justin Fields at quarterback too. I do like Zach Wilson a lot. Personally, I was a fan of his, but the strength of schedule there with BYU, Parth, you mentioned it, isn't the greatest. I think their best opponent the entire year was Coastal Carolina, and that's not knocking on them whatsoever. But Trey Lance also only played in one game. I do like Trey Lance's athleticism more than someone like a Mitchell Trubisky coming out of North Carolina, but I do think Trey Lance is also going to be a massive wild card. I do think Kyle Shanahan will be able to figure it out with him, and he's going to be solid once he does get in over Jimmy Garoppolo, but I do think he's a wild card, and I think Fields is one of the most surefire prospects in this draft, and you can come back and quote me on this if Fields ends up not working out in Chicago, but I do think he has the arm. I think he has the athleticism, obviously, with the 4.4 40-yard dash. So I think the aspects, the dual threatness, I guess you could say, of Justin Fields is more surefire than someone like a Mac Jones who had to rely on those incredible teammates, like a Trey Lance, like a Zach Wilson who had to play a weak strength of schedule. So I'm going to say that I think Justin Fields also is the second best quarterback in this draft class, but we shall see moving forward because a couple of the other guys are going to get opportunities to play well before Justin Fields, depending on how training camp plays out. So let's talk a little bit more. Obviously, the Bears have named Andy Dalton the week 1 starter, Parth, or not named Andy Dalton the week 1 starter, but promised him that he will be the week 1 starter, and that was reiterated just earlier this week. But let's talk a little bit about Rookie of the Year because it's going to be important. We've seen Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields duke it out since they were in high school, and he's obviously going to be the favorite for Offensive Rookie of the Year, whatever. And there's also some other interesting prospects that are going to get a lot of opportunities to play offensively that will have chances to fight for this award. Devonta Smith, Jaylen Waddle, Najee Harris. But in terms of Fields, just looking at his situation, where and when realistically do you think he needs to start and take over as the Bears' quarterback to put himself, if he plays well, in consideration for Rookie of the Year?
It's got to be the first 4 weeks. I feel like there's too many quarterbacks, too many wide receivers, and you can't forget about Pitts. There's too much offensive talent in this draft for him to, he has to start early because there's going to be someone who's going to play really well out of this draft class. And we don't know who it's going to be, but for him to win Rookie of the Year, he's got to start off early and also start off hot because someone's going to definitely take off from this draft class.
Yeah, and if he does come in a couple weeks later, he's got to have a Justin Herbert-like start where he's firing from the gun and everyone is shocked that he's playing great football. We saw Justin Herbert just do it this last year, so I do think I got to agree with you. Probably by week 6 at the latest, and he's going to have to play some incredible football. I mean, you mentioned all the offensive talent. I didn't even mention Kyle Pitts out of Florida, who's a generational talent at tight end / wide receiver, who's now going to get more opportunities because Julio Jones was traded this morning to the Tennessee Titans. That's going to be wild, and I'm sure we're going to be discussing that in the coming weeks. But how about that? But Kyle Pitts is definitely going to have some more opportunities now. Those 2 wide receivers out of Alabama, as well as Jamar Chase for the Cincinnati Bengals. He's going to have
4 other quarterbacks
there. Yeah. So Fields is going to have to come out, hopefully within the first 6 weeks, which I believe he will be playing in, if not week 1, if not week 4. I think week 4 is a logical point, and we've discussed this in videos past, but we shall see where he ends up coming in. But I think it's going to have to be those first 6 weeks. You're going to have Wilson starting from the beginning. You're going to have Lance in a similar situation with Fields. You're also obviously going to have Lawrence starting from week 1, and he's going to be vying for that. And he is quite the talent, so it should be interesting to see how it plays out. But I think the first 6 weeks, Justin Fields would have to play if he wants a chance to win the Rookie of the Year. Before we close this off, let's talk a little bit more. I mean, obviously he's impressed so far in OTAs, and you don't really get the full slate of playing against the number 1 defense because obviously the only Bears starter right there now is Roquan Smith. But when Justin Fields' time eventually does come, Parth, do you expect him to be able to play at a high enough level against NFL defenses to be in contention for the award? Whether or not he wins it, do you think if he comes in those first 4 or 6 weeks that he'll be on the ballot come the NFL honors?
Absolutely. I have no doubt in my mind that he will be. If he plays like we all expect him to play, like he expects himself to play, like he did play in college football and just plays the game of football, he should definitely be a top 20 quarterback in the National Football League. That itself should put him in contention to win the award. It's going to be difficult. Like I said, there's a lot of offensive talent in this draft. The most offensive talent I've seen in a draft in a very long time, actually, just with all the wide receivers in this draft as well. Running backs can also take it. You can't forget.
Najee Harris is going to be starting off the rip. So
exactly, he's going to be starting off the rip with them. And then in Jacksonville, you have Trevor Lawrence as well, but you also have
Travis Etienne,
who is going to play wide receiver and running back. So Fields definitely has a tough task to win this award. Winning the award doesn't mean anything at the end of the day. If he plays well enough, I'll be happy about that. But I think he will play at a high level. I think he comes in week 3, week 4, like you said, Chris, early on in the season and shows up. He wasn't very happy about being that 4th quarterback taken in the draft. I thought he himself thought he should have been the 2nd quarterback taken in the draft. He knows that.
He probably thought he should have been the 1st quarterback taken
Absolutely,
in the draft based off his level of confidence. And him and Lawrence have duked it out since they were in high school.
Yeah, so I bet he hates Lawrence. But
I don't know about that.
Not hate Lawrence, but they've always had a competitive edge against each other, and he's definitely not too happy about being the 4th quarterback taken, if not only being taken behind Lawrence. So there's going to be a lot of things that have that are going to motivate him. Hopefully he can get the playing time and stays healthy enough to win the award.
Yeah, and I do think when he comes in, he'll play well enough to win the award. You mentioned it. At the end of the day, individual accolades don't matter as much as your team succeeding. So as long as the Bears hopefully end up in the playoffs or have a good season, obviously they have the 3rd toughest strength of schedule in the league. But as long as they can play some good football, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. But I do think when Justin Fields does come in, when his time comes, he will play a high level of football. I do think the Bears got this right. I am confident. Once again, you can come back and quote me if he doesn't play good football this year when he gets the opportunity. But I do think that the Bears nailed this pick. I think he's going to come in, as Parth said, chip on his shoulder and really show the world that Chicago has a good quarterback and that he should have been selected higher in the draft. I do think he's in a little bit of a tough situation in terms of winning Rookie of the Year, only because, obviously, you're going to have a couple quarterbacks starting off the rip. It's not guaranteed that Justin Fields is going to start off the rip. It's not guaranteed that he won't start off the rip. I think he has a lot better chance the earlier he gets in, the sooner he gets an opportunity. I think the more reputable, resume he can build for his rookie season towards that Rookie of the Year award. But you know what? At the end of the day, Andy Dalton is here. Seems like he's probably going to get the opportunity week 1, which is understandable, and let Fields sit for a bit. I don't think Fields is in a situation where he can't win it, but then again, I think he does have to get in soon if he is going to win it, because there's going to be wide receivers, tight ends, running backs, and quarterbacks already starting to build up some stats from week 1, so Fields is going to have to come in and show out, and I expect him to do exactly that. Do us a favor before you go. Drop a like on this video, subscribe if you are new to the channel, follow us on the podcasting platforms, comment down below whether or not you think Justin Fields could win Rookie of the Year, and if so, when you expect him to play, because that's definitely going to be an important piece. But thank you guys so much for tuning into episode number 140 of Uncut. We have recorded a lot of these, probably going to hit the 200 mark by the end of 2021. But if you want more content from us, head over to our website, beareddown.com. We're going to get fired back up with columns, articles, and blogs. So head over there to see some off-season content from people who work with us. If you would like to see sneak peeks of who we're having on the podcast, want to give us your thoughts on what we should be recording about, and also enter our giveaways, you can find the podcast on Instagram and Twitter at Beared Down. And down in the description, you can find the links to all of our social media pages, our Instagrams, as well as our Twitters. Those are our personal pages, myself, as well as Parth, Jaylen, and Zach. You can see our thoughts on the entirety of the NFL, all of Chicago sports, and everything Bears. So be sure to check out our social media pages down there as well. It's another great way to interact with us. Parth Shaw, man, feels good to be doing this again consistently, getting back into a groove. Views doing good. Feels a little nostalgic, kind of like 2020, but once again, we've got big goals this year. We want to do big things. We want to post videos every day and be different from everyone else. But any last words before we close this one out?
Yeah, like you said, we want to be different from everyone else, and posting videos every day is what differs us
from other people.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
We're still a little rusty, man. We were recording so consistently throughout the offseason that we're really trying to kick it into gear now, and it's a little bit weird because we haven't done it for since
such a long time
since we played the Saints.
Exactly. Since we play
So
the Saints. Oh, don't even remind me of that game. Javon Wims, baby. But we got Logan Paul versus Floyd Mayweather tonight, so that's gonna be exciting.
I put $5 on Logan Paul when the fight was announced for the first fight when it was supposed to
Uh-huh.
be in April at like some ridiculous odds. Just because I figured Logan has a puncher's chance.
Oh,
And
it's
I
one
think I
punch
win
chance.
700 some dollars off of a $5 laydown
Yeah,
if Logan wins. I mean, there's no official winner, so you'd have to knock him out to win. But
so
that's
that
going
would
to be entertaining, man.
I'm excited. I don't know what's gonna happen. I bet Floyd probably wins, but
I feel like we kind of have to be on Team YouTube just because we kind of
Oh,
grown a little bit
absolutely,
of a
yeah.
platform on YouTube. So we kind of just have to root for the platform. But I think it's good. Chicago baseball is doing well right now. We've got playoff basketball, no Bulls,
Mhm.
playoff hockey, no Blackhawks. But the MLB in Chicago is doing good right now. There's so much to look forward to with the Bears. A lot of entertaining sports right now. And
Yeah.
Justin Fields definitely leading the way in terms of optimism in Chicago and things to look forward to. So it should be an interesting summer, and we're going to bring you guys Bears content each and every day. So there's going to be a lot to look forward to, a lot more uncut. But guys, thank you once again so much for tuning in. It's been a pleasure to be your host. Once again, my name is Chris Maltby. And Bears fans, as always, do us a favor and stay safe and bear down. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.